Okay, everyone, welcome aboard today's flight. We are taking up the new version 1.1.5. This one promises to have some better sounds. I honestly have not fired into this aircraft yet. Literally just downloaded it. We'll give it a test run, see if we notice anything unusual about it. But again, if you like this type of flying, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell. But we are going to take this one out for sort of its first shake on this channel. We're going to leave from Salt Lake City, Atlantic Aviation here on the southeast side of the airport. Got a bunch of caravans out there and FedEx. It's looking good. Gotta love the van. 208. Oh, yeah. So we will hop into the flight deck. We'll get this aircraft started up. Some of the news... looking through the notes, they say they have some better sounds, so we'll go in and listen to that, some better volume, and other news. So once we get up to cruise, we can talk about a couple of those before we take a pause, let the dogs out, and get ready for our arrival into Half Moon Bay, just outside of San Francisco. We're going to adjust our flight plan, but let's get inside, get the aircraft fired up, see if we notice any differences. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let's VR seating is just a little awkward here. So without getting to, let me turn those off. Trying to find a way to set up the engine start switches, so we could have done it from outside, but can't get that one figured out. It's going to take me a minute to do that. So we will get our checklist up here, and we will get that cabin door closed. Pull the chocks, and now we will go ahead and look at our gas since we are here. Transfer pump should be set to not transferring. What we want is 3,640 pounds. Currently at about half that. So let's fill these up. That gives us 25. Fill those. Let's go 3,700 pounds. 3,702. That should do us just fine. So yeah, there we go. If we go, yeah. Looking all right there. So into the checklist. Pre-flight has been completed, but we can look through that. Engine covers off. Ground power is not connected. Baggage has been stowed. Cabin air damper has been secure. Emergency exit is secure and is clear. Passengers have been briefed. Controls, we're taking 2 people. Oh, let's put those folks on board. We'll take John. And we can also take let's go on the other side. We'll take Cindy in the back with the tablet. There we go. We don't want Bobby. So, passengers have been briefed. Control locks have been stowed. Belts, harnesses, and seats are good to go. Parking brake is set. And flight controls free and correct. Oxygen system looks okay right there. Circuit breakers are all in. Landing gear is down. Emergency battery check. And it is now on. There we go. That has been uncaged. Looks like it will be level as well. Panel switches, avionics, fuel computer, pitch trim, anti-skid. Everything appears okay. Oh. AC bus primary. All right. Anti-skid on, jet pumps are on, static source can go to both, and it is both, so that's changed. Cold and dark, it was either left or right, but now it looks like it is set for both. Emergency pressurization is good, bleed air is on, pilot's altimeter is now getting set, according to the local barometer here, 30.41. Let's check it out, Salt Lake City, 30.40. Based on what the sim says, we'll take that. Batteries coming on. Inverters on. Oh, that does sound a lot better. Emergency lights set. System pressure we can go ahead. It is nothing. Let's have the hydraulic pump. Hydraulic pump on, and we do have pressure, and it does hold. We can turn that off now. Annunciator lights, checking all those. Good to go. Oh, I do need to pause here and set something else up. Alright, with that, I should be able to hear if somebody hits me up in the live chat in YouTube. So my apologies for taking a second to do that. That's my fault. Alright, now we are back in the flight deck. Sorry about that, folks. Just getting things set up. Alright, we can go ahead and secure that so it doesn't continue to flash at us. And park brake set, emergency brake handle is good, hydraulic pump is off, annunciator lights have been tested, warning system, so that is something that they said they checked. So let's test off. Cabin altitude. Let's see. Still a little bit off. Cabin altitude, Mach speed test. Mach trim, fire detection, stall. Looks like it's off a little bit. That is one of the things. It might be, maybe I just read it wrong and it was just a known bug that is no longer lined up. So if you look at it, you'll see test off is good, cabin altitude is okay, Mach trim, Mach test is in between, fire detection is right on. Left stall looks a little past it. Right stall more towards trim overspeed. And then all the way over, that one looks good. So I think they know that it's not aligned correctly. So we're good to go there. Standby gyro is aligned and level. And we can go ahead and start the, let's start the left engine. And we'll hop out as fast as we can. So I will hit that start button on the number 1. It's better. I like it. Still a bit on the quiet side. We'll go back in, make sure number 1 is starting correctly. We are good. And now we can start number 2 from the inside so we can hear. But we will continue through here. Fuel counter's good. Fuel quantity set. Cross flow valve. Transfer fill. Standby pumps checked and off. Fuselage valve. The non-fuel jettison. Cockpit voice recorder. Drag chute. Takeoff data. Alright. Let's see. So we did do start 1 engine. And so we can go to, let's see. Cockpit voice recorder, and we can turn on our yaw dampers and test those. So 1, 2, and test. Right, left, and then back over to the right, and then centered. So if we were to do this, and then run outside and look at our rudder. Don't know if we're fast enough or if it doesn't show it. So onto the start checklist. Cabin door is secure, fuel computers are on, air conditioner is off, aux heat is off, batteries are on, inverters on, parking brake is set, hydraulic pump off, beacon light, that's why we go to that one. Beacon light on, as well as our nav lights. Thrust levers are in cutoff, engine start. Okay, engine start switch, so that one is good. We can switch you up to generator, engine number 2, and let's run outside and see. Adding fuel. A little better. I haven't been too worried about the sound because they've been, they have said over and over again they are working on sound, and once we get airborne, we'll chat about audio for this thing. So both engines are started, spoilers are down, flaps are set to 8 now. Hydraulic pressure is good, it is in the middle. Other engine started, no GPUs, gen switches to gen, we are set. Battery charging, yep. Starter disengagement, voltmeters, everything looks okay. Before taxi, avionics, we can go ahead and turn those on now. And put in our flight plan. We will be departing on runway 17 left, or runway 17 out of Salt Lake City. So we will go Salt Lake City. Let me zoom in for you so you can see it. Salt Lake City, load procedure, departure. We are on the Desert 2, runway 17. And the transition will be the MVA. Load that departure. We can get rid of that manual sequence. Nice, very good. So from MVA, J84, sorry, there you go. Load, not procedure, so we want to go back. MVA, oh, not there. MVA, load airway. J84, and we will exit at Oakland. Load, and we actually need to go in and put our destination. Cancel. Add waypoint. KH Hotel Alpha Foxtrot. That's Half Moon Bay. Enter. There we go. And then from Oakland, we're actually going to get rid of that Oakland portion. Let's remove that. And from Linden, we will join the, let's see, what do we have? The RNAV runway 30. Winds are favoring runway 30 there at Half Moon Bay. Approach RNAV 30. And that'll be from Sapid. We will load that approach, and I think we are programmed up, ready to get out of here. All right. There we go. Okay, so we will be flying at flight level 430 today, so let's get to spinning on this one. .430 is set there. We can go ahead and turn on our radio altimeter and pitot heat, and don't need any of that right now. Kind of nice here in Salt Lake City. Yeah, we're set. Continue with our radar in standby. Let's see. I must be doing something wrong because I see everybody else has this radar on. I need to go in and see if I've done something wrong. Which is probably entirely true. So I apparently don't have the radar. It's the radio altimeter. And with that, we can turn on those lights. Turn on the cabin air. Let's see how that... Oh, nice. Cabin air sounds much better. Not quite as aggressive as it was in the past. So I think we're good to go on our departure. Our Routing, we are set, and our runway heading for runway 17. Let's take a look at that. So runway 17, which is right here, is 169 degrees. So we can go this way, or we'll go this way with this one. And now we can go this way with this one. There we go. Those are all set. Flight level 430 is set. Power is on to the flight fuel transfer. Jet pumps on. Standby pumps, don't need those. Or do they work? I'm not sure. I'll have to check that. Other than that, we are set. Those are good. Those are good. Set the pitch trim for departure. Put it down in the pie. Good to go there. Missing those. We're set. Okay. Windshield heat not needed. Lights on as required. Anti-skid on. No lights. Passenger briefing. No smoking. And parking brake can be released. Here we go. We're going to taxi all the way up to runway 17. Add some fuel. And watch out, Travis. So brakes and steering. Oh, we need to do that. There we go. Steering good and brakes are good. Fuel is good. We are balanced. Flight controls are free and correct. And we can check our... What did I do for thrust reversers? Hop out, make sure the buckets are out. They are. And just like that, coming closed. Back into the flight deck and taxi up to runway 17. Takeoff data is good. Flight instruments are checked and golden. Engine instruments looking okay. Voltmeters, ammeters, nav equipment, radar, spoilers retracted, and flaps are set to 8. Trim is good. Pressurization, we're going up to flight level. Let's see, where's this one get us to? So take us around the corner here. So let me get around this little corner as we taxi up to runway 17. There we go. So once we get around the corner here, and I'm headed more or less straight ahead for runway 17. We're going up to flight level 430, or yep. And we're still doing pretty good. Motoring right along. Cabin air is on. Temperature controls, anti-ice, electrically heated windshield. Crew briefing has been complete because it's just me and myself. If you look from the outside to the inside, I do have my first officer Alice with me. So while we're driving up, we can go ahead and activate our toga so we get our flight director. And I do believe I have the autopilot trim set. So we'll check that when we get up there. So we can go ahead and activate the nav mode. Long range navigation for us. again, we are going to pitch for about 250 knots on departure. Hopefully that'll give us between 3,000 and 4,000 feet per minute, and we'll want to maintain about 850 degrees here in our turbine temperatures. Slowing down with buckets instead of the brakes. And we are coming up to the end of runway 17. Not flying on a VATSIM because I am flying sort of, I guess you could call it an experimental aircraft right now. It is Friday night, and I don't know that they want, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about the aircraft. While it is fun to fly, and I have no problem flying it, I would hate to get in on VATSIM and have something weird happen and get yelled at by those controllers. So, getting ready for runway lineup, so we can switch over there. Parking brake, transponder, we can go ahead and turn that on now since we are just about ready to depart. Frank, welcome aboard. How was your day going, Frank? Good to have you here. So getting to the end of the runway here, we'll get out there lined up. We're looking for a heading of 169er. And then we will depart and make a return off to the west. Fly over the Great Salt Lake, as well as the Bonneville Salt Flats. Head southwest a little bit. And then we'll head on into Half Moon just outside of San Francisco. So we are here at the end of the runway. We're not going to go into the run-up area, but we can go ahead and turn on our lights. Frank, so far my day has been really good. Kind of busy. Went to the doctor for Turtle. He's doing A-okay. Lived to fight another day. So yeah, good day so far. So, stall warning coming on. Should have turned on the taxi lights. Those are now runway the lights. Ignition's coming on. And the annunciator panel appears normal. So we'll come out here. A little bit of a left turn. Nobody's coming down final. We've been cleared for departure, runway 17, Salt Lake City. Oh, nothing happened to Turtle. He was just, he's just an older dog, so has some ear infections and got some medicine for that, and just getting to be older, so we just need to make sure he was good to go. So, all right, annunciator panel, ignitions are all good. We are ready to roll. We're going to go ahead and add power. Brakes are holding pretty good. We're looking for about 850 on the turbine temperatures. And we can go ahead and release the brakes. Airspeed's coming live, coming through V1 and VR or rotate, and we will lift off. Gear coming up, and we'll go altitude select, and then we can go ahead and nose down a little bit. Looking for our right turn. And flaps coming up. And we will accelerate to about 250 knots. Once we get there, we're going to go ahead and gauge airspeed, and that'll hold it for us. Again, we're looking for about 850, climbing about 4,000 or 5,000 feet per minute now. Oh, look at that. Nice Salt Lake City. there, kind of climbing like a rocket. Let's go out and take a look. Oh yeah, pretty Salt Lake City. That's worth a screenshot. What do you folks think? Nice. Sweet, we are on our way. Get rid of that so we can look around. There's Tooele right down there, Great Salt Lake. We're gonna head out just over to the west here. Salt Lake City. Yeah, Salt Lake City's a lot of fun, and that the scenery I have for it, now that they've got all the expansions and everything, it looks a lot better than the MSFS default. So let's get ourselves a nice little screenshot here. Nose on. Climbing up to flight level 430, holding on to an airspeed of about 250 knots. And we are looking 430. We're doing good. Nav's going okay. So once we get up to cruise altitude 430, we'll go ahead and chat a little bit. And Frank, we normally drive out to San Francisco, and when we do, we stop here in don't want that. Let's see. Fuel transfer low. Oh boy. That may not be good. I may just jacked it up. Let's see. Alright. Don't want to put those on, but we'll have to see. So everything's okay. It is off. And our totalizer seems to be okay. So we are back to climbing. We are trying to hold 250 knots. Climb through 18,000 feet pretty darn quick. So we can go ahead and turn all these off. There are better clicks in here as well. The clicks do sound better. And good thing I had those on when I accidentally hit those transfer pumps. So beyond the fuel transfer low, not sure what it's saying or what it's giving me. And let's see how the clacker sounds. I did automatically turn that off. So let's go in here, settings. And I am not hearing a huge amount of trim clack, so not sure. But it does sound pretty good in here. I do like the sounds of this aircraft. There's Tooele right back there. We are straight over the Great Salt Lake. As you can see, we are headed westbound. We will be climbing over the Bonneville Salt Flats. Couple of my favorite movies. One that me and Tony are fans of was the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. That's where he went into the mountain. The other one is World's Fastest Indian with Anthony Hopkins. So that was a lot of fun. That movie was great. So there we go. We are cruising right along. Not sure what fuel XFLO means, but Frank, The water in that lake is extremely salt rich, so it's not a lake that they can go boating on or swimming on. And as a matter of fact, like right down here, you can see where they just mine all the salt out of the water and the ground around the salt lake. So sodium salt for your table. I'm not sure where they use Salt Lake salt for, but that's why they call it the Great Salt Lake. And same with the Bonneville Salt Flats up here. It's just a dried up lake, and it is very salty. If you walk on it, there's a little rest area right here. We normally drive out to San Francisco. We stop in Salt Lake City, and then the next day we drive on into San Francisco. But we do stop here at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You can walk on them. It's amazing. It's just huge. We'll get out and look. So you'll see them coming up. There they are. So the salt flats are right there in front of us. Miles and miles of just super flat salt, and that's why they do the speed tests out there. And hop back in, Frank. Yep. It is crazy. It's a lot of fun, though. There's a little town, West Wendover. It is the last little town in Utah. Then there's a state line into Nevada, and so one half of the town is non-casino oriented, and the other half of the town is casinos and getting your first gamble on when you go into Nevada, either Reno or Las Vegas. But a lot of fun. There's also we generally on the way back will stop at a Burger King there, grab some food, and then we'll make the final push from Wendover into a lot of what was the jet car that the British had? I think that might still be the fastest land-based vehicle. But yeah, that's right out there. Plenty of room for them to accelerate and decelerate. And that road right there, that's Interstate 15. And between this turn right here and West Wendover on the other side of the lake, it's fairly straight, fairly boring road. So they give you little billboards on the side of the highway encouraging you to do math so you can keep your brain moving. But there's a lot of spots where you can see vehicles that have either accidentally or intentionally left the roadway and got out onto the flats and the mud, and a lot of fun driving out there. All right. Flight level 330. Still climbing about 2,000 feet per minute. Slowing up a little bit. We can go ahead and try and maintain 2,000 feet per minute vertical speed. And now we can accelerate a little bit. Again, we're looking for about 850 on our turbine temperatures. And 831 looks like that's about all we'll be able to push from them. Yeah. You can imagine, I mean, late at night, it's just a straight road, no turns. I mean, you can see it from up here. There's no turns on that highway. You're doing 75, 80 miles an hour. It's dark, no sunshine, no moonlight sometimes. Yeah. It can get pretty bleak. So I think we actually do go over Wendover, and then we make our left turn. There's Wendover. Frank, what's your puppy's name? Bella, that's a great name. Bellamia. That's a great name. I've got an Alice, and she has recently made her way in, checked on me, said, "You're flying, Dad," and stepped away. So if we look out here, there is Wendover right there at the base of the mountains. I don't know if you guys can see it. Kind of see where the road bows out and goes up into the hills. Goes around through that little or that little break in the ridge over there on the right. And then just down there, you can sort of see a little bump out on the side of the road to the right. That's a little rest area where you can get out of your car, walk out on the salt flat, and enjoy it. They give you a little faucet there at the rest area so you can wash off your shoes. Nice. There's also another piece of artwork. I think it's right there just to our left, a little black dot right off the side of the highway. I can't remember what it's called, but it's just like these weird globes on posts out there. Maybe life of something life or something of that nature. I'll have to look it up and talk about it. So again, we are climbing for 1,000, climbing through 42,000. We should hear our 1,000 foot alert here in a moment, and we are chugging along in the rare air. So we're right at about Mach 0.7 right now. And I wonder if I can let's see what we can do. See how it captures the altitude. This is one of the things that they've been working on. Altitude capture has captured, and we will bounce down a little bit. There we go. Oh, not too bad. That's a little bit abrupt. I'm pretty sure the people in back felt that level. We generally want to try and reduce our our feet per minute climb at about 500 feet for the last 1,000. I just wanted to see how it would hold it. So now we should accelerate. We want to hold about 0.777 Mach. So there's 0.75 Mach, 76, 77. See if we can hold 0.78. I think Arcade Mac is at work, or he may be enjoying some time with his family. He's had a couple busy weeks at work, so. All right, we are leveled off. Holding altitude 430. airspeed. Throttles are to the firewall. Seems to be holding about, it's coming up. So 7.6, 7.7. Slowly coming up. We will have to pull the power back just a smidge. And our fuel flow left and right engines are looking pretty good there. Getting some clicks, and we are no longer climbing as far as our airspeed goes, so we can add a little bit of fuel back into it. Looks like we're right on about 0.78 Mach right now. Maybe add just a little more fuel. Dropping just a little bit, wee bit. Alright. And 690, 689. Let's see how that holds. 688 and 649. That seems to be pretty decent. We are chugging along at 406 knots ground speed. 258, a little bit of a crosswind up here, so we're going to add just a little bit more power. I think 694. 657. Looks like our fuel's doing all right. I think we have a pretty good power setting. Oh, we just missed Wendover. There it is. There is a little airstrip outside of Wendover. Kind of makes me hungry for a Burger King, or other parts of the world, I guess it's called a Hungry Jack. So. Alright, let's bring up our checklist. Let's get us all set up with the cruise checklist. And then we can stow this one for a minute. And after takeoff, we'll landing gear up, yaw dampers. Let's go ahead and engage those. There we go. Yaw dampers good to go. Flaps are up, gear is up, ignition off, pressurization is okay, landing taxi lights off, autopilot has been engaged, hydraulic pressure looked good, angle of attack indicators are A-okay. Both of them are looking pretty good. So climb is complete. So 10,000 foot, no smoking. Pressurization was good. Altimeters, recognition light came off. Air conditioner off if applicable. We can go ahead and we're good. We don't need any of that right now. Air conditioner off, and crew and passenger oxygen masks. We are okay. We're fine. We're fine. Thanks, Tony. We're fine. So now that we are at cruise, let's go ahead and go into our cruise. Pressurization good. Fuel management seems okay. Not sure what this fuel X for low. Engine instruments are okay. Cabin temps are good, and other systems are being monitored as we cruise. Nah. Yeah, that ice is pretty insidious. It'll take you down pretty quick. People don't necessarily understand that, but good on you for recognizing it. So they are getting a if you're curious about it, hit their Discord or hit up their Discord, and you will see that they are having a professional group, and I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, go out and record the Garrett turbofan engine startups and sounds, and they're hoping that maybe by the end of Q2 they would have a better set of sounds for this aircraft out. Looking forward to that. Not that it's bad. It's one of the areas they can improve, and they are going to improve on it, but this airplane is pretty legit just the way it is. So all they're doing now is making things better. They're just refining it. It is still early access, but I would have no problems recommending people going out and getting this aircraft. We are currently in version 1.1.5. They have some improved sounds. I do, the switches in here sound a lot better. They do have a couple bugs they have to work out, but that's part of early access. The aircraft itself, it works exactly as you would expect an airplane to work. We do have to remember it is a simulator, so they're doing a great job of updating. I want to say last time I flew this airplane, maybe on Saturday of last week, we were on version 1.1, and since then they've gone through 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, now we're on 1.5. So if you do the math on that, it comes out to about an update a day. They are not significant updates where all of a sudden the aircraft will change handling characteristics. They are improvements. The handling characteristics the aircraft has will be better, but they are working on a lot of little things. This airplane, I didn't even arm the thrust reversers. Dirt. They are working on all the systems. Like I said, they are working on getting professionally done sounds with the sound engineer and recording artist and Foleys and all the fun stuff like that. So there you have it. That is the news. They are promising they're getting better audio, professionally recorded. It's going to take a minute, but one of the things is something like that's going to cost a couple of dollars. So if you are on the fence about buying this airplane, buy the airplane. Give them the money to let them get those sounds recorded. This airplane is fantastic as it is. It's only going to get better. So the more people that are enjoying this aircraft, the more features they can add to it, the better the airplane is going to be. So 86, there we go. And speed's doing all right. So with that, let's go ahead and pull up our arrival, RNAV, for runway 30 in Half Moon Bay. So we're going to want to come down to Woolley at 3,300 feet. So let's go to our utilities, vertical calculation. We'll zoom in here for you. So we want target altitude. What do we say? 3,300. Ha. Zoomy dogs are fun. There you go. And 2,000 feet per minute. And our target wall waypoint is Woolley. Woolley, 3,000. And we are set. Looks like we're about 37 minutes out from starting our descent. We will... Oh, and let's see. Let's go back to our flight plan. And Let's see. We don't have any approaches, or we don't have any arrival. So we're good. 430, everything's good. Let's make sure we don't have any strange manual sequences. And we did. We got rid of Oakland. We'll go straight from... Excellent. So MVA, and then we start our approach, our arrival routing, and we can get rid of Oakland up here. Yeah, that makes it a little better. Rather than going out over Oakland, we'll just make a left turn at Lynn and start our descent. So with that, 3,300 feet. .3,300 feet set there. That is our approach, our intercept altitude for the RNAV into Half Moon Bay, California, runway 30. The minimum is 381 feet, or 327 feet above the ground. So 327. It's all right. 330 will work. That's our radio altimeter. And we are chugging right along. Again, if you like this kind of flying, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you being here. Frank, thanks for chatting with me. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple minutes now to run out, take care of Alice. Make sure Turtle's feeling all right. And kind of a long day for him. And I'll be back in just a minute. We'll be back. Get back on. I have returned. I appreciate your patience. Thanks for covering for me, Frank. I appreciate it. I don't know where Rachel is. I don't know if you want to threaten people to get under their bed. They might like it. Frank, I appreciate you covering for me. Alright, so we are getting ready for our descent. Let's go back here, take a look at our vertical calculation. Shows that we're about 18 minutes away from our descent. Looking good. Cruising right along. And that's a good power setting. 693 on the left engine and 653 on the right engine. Holds us right about 0.78, 0.77 Mach. I can back it up just a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at where we are. Oh. There we are. So, 25 miles away from our next waypoint. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good on this little Learjet. Gotta love it. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell me about it. Ah, cool. Rachel, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We're cruising along at flight level 430. Who can't you hear, Rachel? Me or Frank? Let's see, Frank. I could probably do a long haul to Germany. Do a Denver to Germany 10-hour flight. I am going to be, I don't know if you heard in the stream last night, in a couple weeks I'll be hopping in a 777 simulator, so maybe I'll, yeah, I do have the 787. I could do JFK. Maybe I do have a good Boston scenery. Maybe I'll take off out of Boston to, what do you want, Frankfurt? I do appreciate you guys being here, keeping me entertained while I fly. Frank's New York. Maybe I could probably pull a, we could do JFK. I'll have to look around, see if there's a good scenery for JFK. look at the airport. We'll be landing runway 30 at Half Moon Bay. And that runway heading is 302. Freedom Tower, nice. What are you going to be doing there? I think Arcade Mac is working tonight, or actually I think he's spending time with his family from all the work he's been doing lately, so. Half Moon Bay, a lot of fun out here at Half Moon Bay. So looking at our arrival, $3,800 down to Jumda, Woolley $3,300. Nice. That's some good work if you get out there. Or do you have to work your way up to being outside in the gantry? Do they still have all the guys that like base jump off of all the buildings there? I remember back in the 80s they had like the Spider-Man guy that free climbed all the buildings. I think he actually did free climb the World Trade Center. All right. Nice. Sounds like you have a good crew ready to go. Haha. Alright, let's go ahead and bring up some checklists. Descent, windshield heat as required. Cabin controller will set that field elevation here in just a minute. Anti-ice, no need. Transition. Recog light when we go through there. Pressurization, okay. No smoking at 18. Fax briefing at 18. Alright. Man, Frank, if you're at Freedom Tower, I'll stop on my way down. About halfway, huh? That thing's tall. Copy, Frank. We're about 8 minutes from the top of our descent. Frank's the one that had all the bird strikes. So let's see, our cabin altitude is 7,000 feet. Differential pressure is about 8,000. I think that might be Tahoe right over there. No. We're still way too far out. Where are we at? Let's take a look at the map. Thanks, Frank. Welcome back. Alright, let's see how we're doing on our top of descent. There it is. It's out there a little bit. Join the flight. All right. It is a good flight, Rachel. I like this. This is a nice one. I was hoping to maybe catch a sunset arrival into Half Moon Bay, but it still might be a little bright. We should have a good arrival and landing. We are about 30 minutes away from touching down. And we are pretty much just due south of Lake Tahoe right now. No, almost. There's Lake Tahoe. Normally when I drive out there, go off the north side here, come through Reno, up over Donner Pass, stop and hang out with the dogs at Donner Pass, then come down through Sacramento, down into San Francisco, and then we usually stay right up here by the airport. That way we have access to all the Pacific Coast. Alright, you can see the top of descent is that little dot right there. We'll zoom in on it. Probably get a couple. There we go. We should get a message saying that we are close to our top of descent, or we are crossing our top of descent. So we will go ahead and hold the speed. Click altitude select. That should hold us here for a moment. Once we cross over this little dot on the map, then we can start our descent by decreasing our power a bit. So there's the message. Approaching top of descent. Once we cross over top of descent, we'll shoot for 2,000 feet per minute descent rate, and we'll hold Mach 0.77 as best we can. Keeping an eye on our turbine temperatures, still kind of mapping these things out. And there we go, we have crossed over our top of descent. Adjusting the power back a little bit. Arcade Mac, how you doing, pal? Sometimes it's fun to watch. It's been going good. Just started my descent down into Half Moon Bay. Go ahead and hit vertical speed now. We're just over 2,000 feet per minute. Try and hold that. And then we'll keep an eye on our throttles and maintain our speed at about 0.77. So we can start adjusting our cabin altitude. Just outside of San Francisco on the Pacific side. Kind of a fun little spot. We generally go down there for Labor Day. We enjoy that. Wow, look at all that. I think we might have just had a weather update. Yeah, 56 after the hour weather update. Let's see what we've got. Let's go look at flights, airport. Alright, let's see what the weather is. Let's see, 0354 Zulu 170 at 4 knots. Oh, that's Salt Lake. Wrong airport. Airports. Half Moon Bay. Weather. 0355 Zulu Auto. Winds calm. 000 at 00 knots. 9 statute miles clear. 13 altimeter 3029er. So we should be good. 3029 probably be 3030 in Flight Simulator world. But yeah, we are trying to maintain about 0.77 knots, so we don't want to get too slow. We'll add some more power. Maintaining that 2,000 feet per minute descent rate. Looks like they've given us another top of descent. If you want, we can go ahead and give it a try. Hit me up, let me know times work for you. We'll get something. We're back up to 0.77. Looks like our top of descent has worked itself out. I think we're good. Bring the speed back. We were a little behind on our little ahead of our descent schedule, so looks like we're spot on again. So Alright, going direct to our initial approach fix. And we are falling below flight level 300 here in just a moment. Still a ways to go. Need to pull the power back a lot. No VATSIM, have a new, this was a new update to the aircraft, so I didn't want anything funky to happen and be on VATSIM, so held off on VATSIM for this flight. Next one I do in the Lear will have the VATSIM. We are just ahead of our descent profile. Descending through 26,000 feet. There we go. Back on our descent profile. Rachel, we'll get a hella flight here in soon enough. Do like that high performance H160 and the H145. Might do some search and rescue up in our, oh, maybe I'll go search for the Donner Party. Haha, that would be fun. Alright, top of descent squeaking out in front of us there. But we are slowing. And coming through 24,000 feet for 3,300, correct? 3,300. We had a good flight. Me and another friend of mine, we flew up I-70 to the Eisenhower Tunnel and up over Loveland Pass and down into Leadville. A little fast. There we go. Well, that's good. Synthetic vision in some of these GPSs is pretty good. Alright. We can go ahead and bring up our iPad. Look at our checklist. We are on the descent coming through, getting up to 18,000 feet. So windshield heat's good. Cabin controller, we'll go ahead and bring that down. That was overspeed. And we are coming down to sea level, so we're good. Anti-ice system is good. Altimeters, we'll set that here in just a minute. Still descending. now that we are getting into the little thicker air, we're picking up knots indicated rather than Mach airspeed, so that's why you see the dial moving the way it is. And 3029er is what I last saw on the altimeter setting. So recognition light coming on, pressurization good, no smoking, fasten seat belts. Here we go. Still descending 250 or 2,000 feet per minute. We are now below 18,000 feet. Altimeter 3033. So once we get to the closer to the airport, 3029 or 3030 is what I would expect to see. That's the overspeed. Still chasing our descent there. And we are just about ready to start our approach into Half Moon Bay. "31 miles out, so 15,000. Yeah, we're good. We're doing right art. Tell you what I can do is we are below 18,000 feet. We're going to have to slow it up. We're going to level out here, slow down just a little bit. See our top of descent squeaking out in front of us there. Yeah, we are going to slow the airplane off, leveling off here about 14.7. Slow her down a little bit. Copy that. And now we can hold that and pitch over for vertical speed right there. Descending through 14,000 feet. Slow it up a little more. Keep forgetting I have the autopilot trim mapped, so looks like we might have a good little sunset arrival into the old Half Moon Bay. Lights are good. Below 10,000 feet, I'll turn on my landing lights. Engage the starters. Alright, so landing lights coming on. Engine start switch is on. Let's see what else we need. We are set. Fasten seatbelt sign. Up and good. Approach, final approach, circuit breaker's good, hydraulic, landing date is good, fuel set, approach setup and briefing, good to go. Position light's good, bleed valve is A-OK, spoilers are retracted, flaps, we're not there yet. Landing gear, not there yet, landing taxi lights are on, anti-skid is on, engine sinks are off. Thrust reversers, we can arm those. Catalina's LA, so yeah, and it's not too bad. It's a fun little flight. And we'll bring this down. We are below 10,000 feet, so 240 knots or less. We'll bug this at 200. There we go. Looks like we're making our right turn to join the approach for runway 30. We'll bring this up. We want heading a 302. There we go. And let's see. 3,800 at Jumda. We are 8.6 out from Jumda. About 2,000 feet. Let's go ahead and pull our power back. And you look at the placard there, 200 knots indicated for flaps, so once we get established. We will arm glide slope mode. We're going to be way high. I don't know if you guys can see it. Got the runway up there just in the fog. Down to 3,300. We'll have, what is that, 6 miles from Jumda to get down about, what is that, 500 feet. So we are well on our way. Yeah, looks like we are below flap speed, so there we go. (3,800 feet at Jumda). Watching for the glide slope to become active. Looks like we are captured on 302, or we're close. Half a mile out. And now we can go ahead and start our descent to Woolley. And I have the runway in sight. We are slowing below 200, so we can go ahead and add another degree, another increment of the flaps, add some power. Once we do capture glide slope, we'll go ahead and drop the gear, full flaps, and land this little fella. Waiting to capture the glide slope. 302, 302. And holding 3,300 feet. Runway in sight. Half Moon Bay. That buzz you hear is the flaps are down and they want the gear down, so we'll get that down as soon as we capture glide slope. About 1.5 miles away from that. Gear down. Flaps full. We are on the glide slope. And reducing power. Full flaps, gear down, 3 green. Lights are on. Starters are on. Recognition lights are on. We are set. Glide slope and localizer. Go out and take a look at the airplane real fast. Oh yeah. Get a nice screenshot of that. Alright, aircraft is doing everything we need it to do right now. Get rid of this. There we go. And then we will go ahead and disengage the yaw damper. Yes, good looking airplane. Still on glide slope, still as well. We're on the glide slope for the RNAV arrival into Half Moon Bay, runway 30. Have the runway in sight, have the thrust runway end lights flashing at me. Here we go. We are doing pretty good. Ah, 3.5 degree. So, glide slope's about 3.5 degree, probably because of the train back there. Or something close in. So, we will continue flying the aircraft. Missed approach altitude, 4,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and spin that up. Or, sorry. And Half Moon Bay, straight ahead, off the nose. My aircraft. So you want to disengage the yaw damper because when you're in close like this, you need that. You don't want it taking over for you. So you want to be able to feel the aircraft as you're making your control inputs, whereas the yaw damper can hinder that and hinder the aircraft's response. So Nice short runway here, so we are shooting for the numbers. And the brake coolers did work. And we do have steering, so all the way to the end, make the right hand turn. We'll go ahead and turn on our taxi lights. We can turn those off. And we can make sure. There we have it. What is that one? Oh, takeoff trim. Yeah, no, we're out of takeoff trim, that's for sure. So we'll head over here, find ourselves a good little parking spot, and then we will go ahead and call this flight done for the day. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I do appreciate you coming out and flying with me. Lots of taxiway lights here. Looks more like a bicycle or motorcycle training course than it does an airport. But we will continue our taxi. We do have this aircraft pretty much all set up for another flight. But again, I do want to thank everybody for showing up, flying with me. A lot of fun. Half Moon Bay, kind of a small airport. More to do with the observatory over there. And this is one thing that Arcade Mac and I have started working on in our other flights is where do we park? What do you think? We'll go down to those buildings and see where we can park. And Frank, I'm going to give you an assignment. Find me a good song for my channel. Something I can play that's like royalty free, and we can everybody can listen to it. So when we get into cruise, we can play the music and enjoy some music as we fly along. Well, that's no fun. Look at that. There's nice houses and stuff over there. What do you think? Should we go over there, or do we go to these industrial hangars? We can't get to those, so we'll go over here. YMCA by... Aw, man. It's got to be royalty free so I can play it without getting any copyright strikes, pal. YMCA is? I don't know about that. We'll check into it. I will look into it. That could be fun. We don't want to go... Oh, look. They've got people over here parking me. Nice. So what do you think? Do I go past them and then... Oh, no. They want me to come right in there. All right. Copy. These guys want me to turn in here. Hey, you're not doing me any good. I'm going to run you over, pal. All right, parking brake coming on. Motor's shutting down. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Welcome to Half Moon Bay, California, just outside San Francisco. Thanks for joining me on the stream, Frank. I appreciate you. Rachel, I appreciate you. Arcade Mac, I appreciate you. Until the next flight, have a good night, everybody. Have a great Friday evening, and we'll see you in the sky shortly. Thank you. I'll get her shut down for us, so yeah. That's good. And there we go. Good night, everyone.